What have you got there?
It's a John buoy.
Oh, it's like carbon. Ooh la la.
Yeah, you love anything carbon.
I know, I do. Look at this mess. I mean, this great stuff you got.
Yeah, it's fun when you order it and you forget about what it is.
It's like Christmas.
Let me show you the John buoy.
My side, Stefan's side.
Look, that's what it is. It's for the, you drop it, you pull a pin, falls in water, the person can get rescued.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's much easier than a sling.
Hopefully we never have to use it, but
yeah,
that's the plan.
Cool.
And the other thing you love, you've been wanting, is the grippy.
It's like a anchor buoy.
To your anchor, and then put this on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little solar panel, so there's a light.
And hopefully nobody tries to think it's a mooring ball.
Yeah. So this way we know at all time where the anchor is.
Yeah.
Ollie has been wanting one of those, and this one will hopefully work as well as advertised.
Buying boat stuff is easy. Learning the boat is another matter. We spent the next week getting trained by the experts in exhaustive detail. The first thing we did is we got back on the water with Mark. He took us through all the sail changes and some weather tactics too.
Like we're sailing, and then kind of what happened once, like, you know, let's say we get a squall of like 30 plus knots.
Comes out of nowhere.
Well, it depends what angle, but let's say we are at that angle and suddenly it's like, boom, like we go from like 10, 12 knots to 30. Like, what do you do first?
Because 30, you still can sail with the full main, I mean.
Oh.
It's not a lot on an Outremer 30.
Oh, okay.
It's windy, but you are still very, very safe.
Yeah.
But for the sail, you go down, you fill your genoa, you prepare your staysail, and you go up. And then you can take your first reef and your sail are perfect. Okay? But if it's 40, 45, now you can start to take your first reef. You open your genoa, but you don't let it flap. So you take your first reef, maybe 2 reefs if it's 40 or more.
Where are you at this point when you're taking your reef?
Like this. No, you stay like this. If you are like this, stay like this.
But you have to open up your main.
Yeah, of course. Well, we will do it in 5 minutes, but you open your main, you take 1 or 2 reefs. 2 reefs is okay.
Yeah.
And then you go down and you furl your genoa.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's why you always have to sail with jammer open. Both, all.
Okay.
Be ready to release.
So the safety is always just releasing.
Yeah.
Or this one.
It depends where you are. If you are here, open it.
Yeah.
If you are close to the genoa, you open the genoa. If you are close to the traveler, you open the traveler. Open something.
Okay.
Even.
Open.
Now you're like with the A2. You get 18, 20 knots, you're having fun, and then you get 40. Now you're like, what? you're sailing deep, like, I don't know, like 150, and then suddenly you take 40 knots.
40 knots. You go down.
Further down, like 170.
Yeah, 150, 160 maybe, and you try to close it.
Okay, so you want to use behind the main, kind of, without wrapping it. So you go down, open it up. Basically, you use the main to blanket the A2 and try to get the suck.
If it's not working, if it's still windy, you can try to G-furl the genoa on the wrong side.
Oh, backwinded.
Yeah, the wrong side. But if it's 40 knots, maybe you don't want to have a lot of sail, but you can try to.
Yeah.
And then, but 40 knots with the main and genoa, it's still okay if it's downwind.
Yeah.
There is no big problem. But you want to remove the spinnaker.
Yeah.
Then we spend a day on electricity and power with Raphael. And boy, this guy knows everything.
So it switches off this part, but it keeps this on for solar and bilge pumps.
When you switch off here,
yeah,
it switch off. It switch off after this box.
He talked us through the lithium batteries, inverter charger, the 220 system,
and this relay give power.
the 12-volt system,
is not working.
and the C-zone master control system.
The chart water on the screen.
Then there was Tomas, who took us through electronics. There was a lot to learn, a lot in his head, and a lot to talk about.
So we put the ZC2 controller, which could steer. So if the rudder angle sensor is not working, it's broken.
He walked us through the autopilot, the backup autopilot, the chart plotter, the CPU system, multiplexer, and all the antennas, sensors, alarms, and remote controls. Oh, and the VHF.
So you could have the bracket, the cable. I can. So here we will see the main pilot processor.
Main pilot processor.
So you two area or not, you ticked.
Then we went back on the water to test the radar
and so you
and CAI.
But on the Octopus now they have some integration,
And see all the magic of the chart plotter.
Sailing of the boat will be all. Now you want to customize more the instrument page. Okay, you go on instrument here.
Which is about when my brain hit full capacity.
Okay, and for example, the dashboard 1, you want to do a dashboard, so what you can do.
You waking up? How's the handover been?
Great. Just going to bed too late.
You got a lot on your mind?
You see, like, all that needs to be cleaned up.
I know, it's a lot.
But that means more like it can be cleaned up very quickly.
Yeah.
But it needs to be a little bit organized and take some notes, and so yeah, it's
a process.
It's all good. Well, I think the sailing days, it's been good because lots of hoisting, dowsing sails, tack jibes, reefs, and I think we're working well together. So it gives us, I think, confidence that we can cast off and go together. Now the systems, we have questions.
A lot of questions.
Not so many questions, but
well, I do.
Yeah, I mean, you have a manual, but then it takes time. So right now we have access.
So these are all the manuals. This is a binder of manuals.
Yeah.
And this is a stack of manuals.
Electronics is pretty intense. So it's good. We have access to experts and we can ask our questions until we leave, and then we'll have to open the manual and start reading, and maybe we'll leave a call once in a while.
But they're a little bit in trouble because they gave us their personal phone numbers and WhatsApp numbers, and so we have a lot of questions, and I think we'll end up sending them a lot of text messages, maybe asking them how stuff works.
Yes, to be charming.
Yeah, we have to be charming and offer water and coffee and croissant.
And we have two independent circuits. So for the kitchen, it uses some water.
By day 4, we were a little bit overloaded, but Raphael came bright and early to discuss plumbing and engines, so we soldiered on.
Lave-pont, chauffe-eau. So we're talking about cold water, chauffe-eau, douche, WC, lavabo, liaison. Okay, intercoque.
If you run out of water on the starboard side, you turn this pump off, you open this, and you get hot water from the port side.
Yes. Once we and we do this, and we time it 1 minute, or
yes, 1 minute.
And we can leave the knob closed, yeah.
Yes,
because,
open.
Yeah,
knob open. Yes.
Open.
Your pressure at the minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's closed. Yeah. To the left. Yeah.
No, it's open.
It's open.
Finally, when you close it, You increase pressure.
So you close, but then you open just a tiny bit. Is that what you mean?
No, he means there's more pressure the more closed the valve is. The more open the valve is, the less pressure there is.
Yes. Oh. So before we rinse, we close it completely.
You open it.
You open it. Open is negative.
I'm confused.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive. Thank you so much for everything. Yeah. Yeah.
And, so even though we had a previous boat, I would say that was super valuable because there's always a little something, and to know where everything is, and no, that was electrical, plumbing, electronics. We went through the engine, water maker. I mean, all the systems on the boat. And now, I guess that training is over. So now we're on our own. Now this is the next step. Is this
to read the manual?
Troubleshoot on our own. So yeah, what do you think?
I thought it was really great. I felt like even though we had our own boat, no one ever explained everything to us in that much detail, and also everything's labeled. So every knob, every button, every switch is really well labeled, and now that it's been explained how the systems work, it's going to be much easier not just to operate it, but to repair it or to troubleshoot it, which I think is a much better position to be in.
The French vocabulary is going to increase because you can read all the labels in French now.
Well, they're in French and in English. So, yes. What's happening this morning? Besides my coffee maker.
Yeah, the high point of the day already happened.
So excited.
But my high point of the day is this. Awen is getting a brain.
Ah,
well,
it's got a brain, but...
It already has a brain, but we're getting Octopus weather routing software installed. And because we haven't had time to even plug the computer...
We haven't had time to do anything. There's just absolute
just
crap.
Realized that I don't even have an HDMI cable to...
Hang on, say it again. Sorry, I was looking at the garbage.
Yeah, focus, right here. Have another coffee. I was saying, like, okay, now I'll connect the computer, get things started, but I don't even have an HDMI cable. So hopefully, Ronan is coming with one, otherwise it's going to be...
Otherwise, Holly's making a trek to the store.
Yeah. And the one thing we're not excited about, this is a Windows computer.
Wah, wah. You want to explain what's going on, Stefan?
So, first step, so we're installing Octopus, our navigation/routing software. Here with Ronan from Romain.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So we had to connect the computer, the monitor. Now Ronan is installing Octopus. And so we're going step by step, configuring everything.
Are you going to love this?
No,
are you going to like just plan the routes all the time?
I probably am going to play with it a lot, but I suspect you will get hooked to it.
I probably.
We already spent a day with Ronan learning the software for weather routing and navigation.
So what do you think so far of the Octopus software?
I'm reading the documentation. Trying to get the basics done. It's software with a lot of capabilities, so we need to start somewhere. But ultimately, I think it's going to help us to just go beyond downloading weather models, to help us to do some better analysis of the weather, better simulations. And also it's going to capture polars for our boat and how we sail with our boat. And ultimately it's going to help us with navigating and routing.
Especially in more complex passages, maybe?
We'll see.
So it is a beautiful morning. It's been really hot. We're at the marina still, and we're gonna take the boat out and test the Watt&Sea. So that should be really interesting to see if it works. First shot out of the gate, we'll find out. What do you got going on over there?
Well, I'm trying to be good.
Yeah.
One more day on the water, this time with Julian, to test the hydrogenerator and practice some maneuvers.
That's your job.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because you have so many muscles.
So when you do that in the ocean, you have a life jacket,
yeah,
and you still connect to the boat with a safety rope.
Yes.
Right. And this one, so you just let it go a bit.
So green is standby, purple is charging, but with a low power charging. After the color change to dark blue it's better, you're charging more. Light blue it's more efficient, and the maximum is white. When you have white, you are full charging.
Okay. Oh, temperature, it's nice. 3 degrees.
We got the Watt&Sea in, and it actually worked the first time putting it in, which I didn't know was going to happen. I didn't expect was going to happen.
And then it was time to head in and call it a day. But not before some precision docking, thankfully in light wind. Just a few years ago, I couldn't imagine being able to take on a project like this. But it doesn't just happen in 1 week of training. It happens little by little with practice, with focus and dedication, and most importantly, with the help of many knowledgeable people who are generous with their time. The biggest thing we learned this week, though, is that our imaginations probably aren't big enough for what will come next. If you're interested in more, you can also check out our Covert Castaway podcast anywhere you listen.